Welcome to Contractor Cuts, where we cover the good, the bad, and the ugly of growing a successful contracting company.
Welcome back to Contractor Cuts. My name is Clark Turner. Thanks for joining us again this week. So today we're doing another Coaching Cuts. Coaching Cuts is a smaller version of a podcast where we talk about one topic that often comes up during my coaching calls with all of our clients. So we cover one of those on a Coaching Cuts to really help you in what you're doing and growing your company. So today we are talking about doing work with friends, doing work for family. We have a full podcast. If you want to go back, it was probably a year or two ago. It's a really good podcast that goes into depth on it. Today, we're going to hit it real quick, kind of the highlights of what you should and shouldn't be doing when taking on work for friends and family. So I've got some stories around it, but first and foremost, the number one thing I want to tell you not to do is to give discounts to friends and family, right? You want to help your parents out, your sister's fiance, whatever it is, the family members that want to use you and want to help you, you want to treat them well and give them the best price possible. Or you've got a friend, right? You've got a friend of the family or someone that you've known forever. Dude was in your wedding and you want to hook him up and do a renovation for him and give him a good price. That's great. We want to do that. But first off and foremost, we need to ensure two different things. One, we're paid for our time. And number two, we have enough padding to cover the stuff that if the family or friend member was a stranger, you would have to have those hard conversations about, right? If it's hey, I'm sorry, but there's an issue here that I messed up on not quoting it, but it's on this quote. So you need to, it's not on the quote, but you were expecting to get done. I need an extra $2,000 because it's not on the write-up, right? We talked about, I know you wanted to get it done, but I forgot to put it on the estimate. And so there's $2,000 extra that we need to do a change order for because it's not captured anywhere on our scope of work, right? That type of a conversation that's difficult to have, but you have to have with customers is a lot more difficult to have with your mom and dad, right? It's a lot more difficult to have with friends and family and say, hey, I know I quoted you one thing, I messed up because I missed something, so you need to pay extra for it, right? So those type of conversations, or maybe the customer is a little crazy and that crazy customer is a relative of yours, those type of things and those jobs that you do, you have to just eat. And we need to make sure there's enough padding on the job that you have this ability to just say, you know what, I'm going to cover that. I'm going to handle it. Don't worry about it. We'll fix all that for you for free. I want to take care of you without having these awkward conversations. So that being said, a couple different examples I'm going to use and how you should handle them differently. So in our line of work, I've got two different examples. One is a family member. One is a friend. We were doing work for a relative of mine that had moved to Atlanta, was coming here. They were moving from a house in a different city that was 100-year-old house. It was a different, long time ago. It was built, had original hardwoods in the house. When they moved into the property, they refinished the hardwoods and stained it a color, and they loved the look of their floors. Get it? Beautiful floors in that house. They then moved to Atlanta and they installed new hardwoods in this house. They moved into a lot newer of a home. And this house that they moved into had, the hardwoods were maybe a few years old. They go to refinish and they're like, you know what, we want the hardwoods to look exactly like the flooring in our old house. So they gave us the exact stain color that they used in their original property. We take the stain color, we get it, we go purchase all of it, we refinish all of their hardwoods in their house. And they call up and say, hey, we've got a big issue. This is the wrong color of stain. This is not what our hardwoods look like. And we're like, oh no, this is a huge issue, right? We go out there, we look at it, we're like, no, this is what you ordered. This is what's on the quote. This is the stain color that you wanted. We put it like, this is correct. This isn't wrong. And they're like, no, that's the color, but this isn't what it's supposed to look like. Either they mixed it wrong or something happened. So what we did, we went out, bought another small can of it, got the same color again, showed that it was the same of what we bought. We had a scrap piece of wood and stained that scrap piece of wood and showed them its exact same color. Well, it turns out 100-year-old hardwoods from Chicago is different than a few-year-old woods in Atlanta. Now, we were told they're both white oak. We can get into the details about it, but all in all, the new hardwoods held the stain differently and showed up in a different color. So who's at fault here, right? Is it the contractor? No, you gave us the color. We did exactly what you wanted, and that we did our job. The homeowner says, I'm very unhappy with this job. I guess you did what you're supposed to, but I'm pissed off about this. Rightfully so. They don't like the color of their hardwoods, and they spend a lot of money on refinishing this new house that they're moving into. That type of a situation, a normal homeowner, I'm saying, tough, you picked the wrong one. I'm so sorry. Like, we'll refinish it. I'll try to give you a little discount on the refinish and not have to make all the profit on it. But we're going to have to refinish it for a homeowner, and I need to do a change order. When it's your family, friends, it's a lot more difficult to say, hey, tough luck, you got to suck it up and pay for it. So if you have that padding in the job, you can just say, you know what, I'm going to restain these floors. And you can keep being the hero, keep the relationship intact, make everybody happy, and just restain the floors. If you try to give your best price the first time and discounted it down to your close to cost, you don't have the ability to cover that, right? And so no matter what, you do not cut your costs for friends and family. You don't even cut down and give them a discount down and still have a profit. We want to do a full charge. I honestly would like to go up about 5% above what you're normally charging. That way, at the end of the job, you can come around, and if everything ran perfectly on this job, and I started at 35% and I finished at 35% profit, I can go up to my cousin, I can go up to my dad, I can go up to my sister and say, hey, listen, we came in under budget. I'm gonna give you a couple $1,000 discount because I don't need it. I've got extra money in this job. Don't worry about that final invoice. I got you covered. Now I've double heroed, right? They were fine paying the full amount. I took care of them. We didn't have any issues, so I could give them a discount at the end of the job. Now, I don't tell them at the front end that I've got this extra money, and if we don't spend it, I'll give it back to you. We don't say that up front, because as soon as you say that, it's now an expectation that it comes back. But what I want to do is build in that money at 35%, 40% to make sure that I've got the cushion in there to be able to take care of them. But also, if I don't use it, I can give it back to them at the end of the job. Number two, you don't work for free for them, right? So not only is it the cushion, I'll give them a discount down to 25% at the end of the job. I'll give them that 10% refund on it on the final invoice, but I need to make at least 25% on those jobs, because what you're not accounting for is your gas, your insurance, the opportunity cost not being on other job sites, the time you spent out there. There is a lot of overhead costs. The average company is around 21% of every dollar is overhead. And so if you're doing the job at cost or at 10% markup, it'd be cheaper just to cut them a check and walk away and not do the job for them. We have to at least get paid for our time, and we have to at least get paid for what we use up gas-wise, insurance-wise, and whatnot on the job. So what I like to do, if you normally charge, let's say 30 to 32%, if you're a standard renovation GC, I want to mark it up to 35% to start. I'm going to give them the quote. If everything goes well, I'm going to discount it down to 25% on that final invoice. You're going to get 10% off. And I'm going to walk away with 25% profit. That's fair for me. That covers my overhead. That gives us a little bit of profit. That covers my time. But I do not discount it down starting on the estimate. I make sure that everything's accounted for. I run it just like any other job, and I try and build in those profits when working with friends and family. If you have any questions about that or anything else that you want to talk about, please go to ProStruck360.com. I'd love to have a conversation with you. We've got a contact us button there. If you go there and fill that out and say, hey, I got some questions, can I set up a call with Clark? I'd love to talk with you. We'll set up a 30-minute conversation. I can answer questions. I got a passion for doing this. So if you want to chat, you don't need to be part of the coaching system. I'd love to help you out. Also, if you need some software to really guide and grow the backbone of your company, ProStruck360.com. Check out the ProStruck 360 software. It is very, very helpful. It runs your company from A to Z, from first estimate to final invoice and everything in between. So thanks so much for listening. We'll talk to you next week. All right.